And to bring the point out a little bit further to the NFC North as a whole, we saw a great year from just about every other team than what the team we're talking about here in Chicago. But Detroit loses both of their coordinators. Sam Darnold heads to Seattle from Minnesota. Green Bay don't know what's going on. Like Jordan Love, might love Jordan Love. They don't have a number one receiver, but they've got like 5 really talented guys. So like looking at the NFC North, obviously it's more competitive than most of the other divisions, but depending on what's going on with the other teams in the division, where do you see Chicago falling, especially with the added juice that Ben Johnson brings?
Yeah, to me, this is a team, this is the dark horse, right? If they can really get it together on offense. I think what they did on, Dennis Allen comes in here essentially running similar scheme. They added Grady Jarrett, and that was pretty much it. Oda Yingbo, who they also added from Indiana. So they did Indianapolis. They didn't really add anything tremendous. They didn't draft anybody that you would just be like, okay, he's going to be a game changer. Other than, Shamar Turner inside might be able to play, but he's second round pick. So I think that defensively, if everybody stays healthy, I think they clean that up. I don't think they get any dynamic. So it's really going to come down to this offense. And can you progress in year 2? We've seen this time and time again, too, of these quarterbacks getting multiple offensive coordinators in multiple years. It kind of sets them back. This will be a little bit of a reset. I would not be shocked if they struggle early and then they kind of come on late with that offense, just because I think Ben Johnson is talented. He's kind of one of those guys that came from nothing, built himself into something. The one thing that you hope is that the ego doesn't get a hold of him, and then he becomes like, well, I'm a genius. I'm a head coach of the NFL organization, which has killed many a coach that gets that opportunity. But I do think that there is a nice setup. I really think what they did in particular with getting Joe Thuney, Drew Dalman, and Jonah Jackson, building that inside presence. Because if you go, Andy Reid talks about all the time is that the interior is what actually sets your depth of the pocket, and the width is set by the tackles. So for a guy that can be kind of skittish in the pocket, you want to basically build a great wall right there. So those guys are not getting penetration in the face of the quarterback, especially a guy like Caleb Williams, who can hit the ejector button at any time. I think you saw that last year of just, I got pressure, eject, right? Eject. And then it's like they kind of know that he moves, but he's not like Lamar Jackson. So it's not like he can just do a spin move and the next thing you know, he's like 40 yards downfield, or Jaden Daniels, who is the same way. Golly, you watch a Commanders tape and it's just like, how do you defend that guy? You can have perfect coverage, perfect rush lanes. Next thing you know, he's gone. So to me, I think that that's something to look in, that really, to me, is going to determine if those guys really gel inside and that offensive line plays well, then this has an opportunity, because they're going to run the ball.
Right. I even think you kind of mentioned it from a structural standpoint, mentioning Dennis Allen, but he's a twice fired head coach now. He's probably not going to get another chance, and at least if he does, it's going to be somewhere down the road. Their offensive coordinator is 28 years old. He's probably not going to be getting a head coaching job at least for another 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 years, just because he's only a couple years older than me. So I think that from a structural standpoint, Chicago's kind of setting things in place for like, all right, Caleb, we've got our defense in place, a guy who knows how to run this defense. Our head coach is the guy who's supposed to be could have had like a head coaching job of his choosing over the last like 3 years. Got to do an offensive coordinator that's supposed to be here for a couple years. Weapons, got you Colston Loveland. Let's go. And unfortunately in the NFL, it seems a little soon for that, just because it's year 2, but let's go. It's the NFL. Let's go. We got to figure this thing out. So that's how crazy it is, but that's where we are.
You got to win before they get to the 5th year in their contract.